Hello, my friends, and welcome to the channel. Today we are talking about Captain Marvel, or Shazam, as he is now known. He was created in 1939 by artist C.C. Beck and writer Bill Parker. Now, he first appeared in Whiz Comics number 2 on February of 1940, and this was published by Fawcett Comics. Now, Captain Marvel, or Shazam, becomes who he is when Billy Batson, a boy, becomes or yells Shazam, and he becomes Captain Marvel. Shazam is an acronym for Solomon, Hercules, Atlas, Zeus, Achilles, and Mercury. Now, in 1972, Fawcett licensed the character to DC Comics. And eventually, DC Comics bought the rights to this character in 1991. Now, DC has renamed the character Shazam because of trademark conflicts with the other Captain Marvel by Marvel Comics. Now, this is the Captain Marvel that I remember from my youth. I remember reading the older comics that my brothers had. And I remember also watching the Shazam Filmation TV series on Saturday mornings of the 1970s. So today we are talking about Mego's Shazam. Let's go ahead and get started. Mego introduced Shazam in 1974. Now, although this figure here is great, I used to have this figure, but just like many of my other vintage Mego figures, they all disappeared little by little. As I grew up, I lost interest, were thrown away, given away, so that figure is gone. But then, in 2009, Mattel introduced the retro action world's greatest superheroes, Shazam. Now, the interesting thing about this figure is that Dr. Mego, Paul Clark, oversaw this project. And here he is. Now, this is a great figure. The costume, from the costuming to the face sculpt, even the packaging is pretty cool. I have had this figure in my collection for several years, and it's just a great figure. I'm not going to pull him out of the packaging, but he is fantastic. Just let me pull him in a little bit so you can kind of take a look at his face sculpt. Just look at that. It's great. And here's the back of the packaging here. You know, we get to see some of the other figures that came out in this line here: Shazam, Darkseid, Black Adam, and Martian Manhunter. I do have the Martian Manhunter, and I'm not sure if I have these other two. I have to go look in one of my storage bins, but these were great figures back then. So I have him right there, Shazam. Then in 2021, Mego got together with Topps and they introduced their Shazam figure, and I don't have this figure, but I'm going to insert his image here of what it looks like. It's similar to the retro action DC superheroes here from Mattel. The costuming is great. It's a little more gold than yellow than the original comic book, but and they also introduced the Black Adam, and I'll introduce the Black Adam image there as well. I missed out on these two figures, and hopefully I may start looking for them and pick them up somewhere. ZLC may have them, or online. It's just sometimes they're pretty pricey. Then in 2022, Mego introduced the variant to the Topps figure, and this one was more classic to the comic book because of the costuming was the yellow instead of the gold figure, and this is the actual figure right here. If I can get him to stand, there he is. Then they also introduced the Black Adam figure, which is him right here. Now these two figures, I believe in this lot that they came out, they had problems with the bodies being a little shorter, and I think these two figures are that. Then Mego introduced its world's greatest superhero 50th anniversary action figure. And let me scoot these guys over here. Let's see if I can get him to stand. And then I'll put him right here. This figure here, oops, he's out of, let's put him here, there. Well, how about here? Okay. Then the 50th anniversary Shazam, going back to the original release by Mego. Here it is, the world's greatest superhero. I can get this box to stand. Let me see if I can get it to stand. Something's going on here. There we are. This figure here was released, 50th anniversary here of the Shazam. I also happen to have, and I think you may have seen it in one of my haul figures, I also happen to have a Shazam figure by Figures Toy Company. This one is a special edition Justice League of America Shazam, and this is the figure right here, and I think you've seen this figure here. There are the boots, and I'll show him off a little later, and I'll put him right here, and I'll move him here. So these are the Shazam figures that are in my collection. Now, also, Mego did release a 14-inch version of Shazam, or Captain Marvel, as I have always known him as. But these are some of the figures by Mego and Mego-like companies. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging on this Shazam from Mego. 50th anniversary world's greatest superhero. We have here again the classic world's greatest superheroes, Mego. We have the foil 50th anniversary logo that you can barely see it there. You have Shazam, DC. You have the image of Shazam, or I still call him Captain Marvel. You have the side of the box here, Superman, Batman, Robin. You have Aquaman, the Green Arrow, and here's Shazam, right? And here is classic Captain Marvel, or the image from the 70s comics. 8-inch action figure, Shazam. Now let's go ahead and open them up. Usually my Mego figures, I usually end up opening them up from the bottom, because for some reason I just prefer that a lot better than the top. Makes it easier to get them in and out. And this figure here is attached again to this particular piece of cardboard here, and I will take a moment here so that I can cut him out of it. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at him now. Here is his classic costume here with the yellow or gold lightning bolt here, the yellow belt, the boots. The boots are a lot different on the original than it was on the actual comic book. The cape is too. The cape on the comic book hero is white, but he came with a yellow belt, and it's that almost like a plasticky type material. I don't remember the name, but it's but it's pretty cool. I mean, here are the new style. This is the new body. Here are the hands that go with this, and he's got, you know, the articulation, bends, and the wrists, and the head turns, and basically the body turns, and the legs go up and down, the knees bend, and the legs swivel side to side. This is the face sculpt of this particular action figure here. If I can get him to focus here, let's see here. Hopefully you're able to see it. There it is. And this is the 50th anniversary Shazam, and I'm going to go ahead and compare him to the 2022 version of the Shazam figure that came out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get him off of the stand that he's in, and we'll compare them, because I believe this one particular figure came out in that lot where the figures were a little shorter than what they needed to be. But let's see here. Yeah, you can kind of, I'll put the lines here, and you can kind of make it to where this one here is shorter than that figure there. So this figure is shorter, but the face sculpts are really different. There you go. You get to see the costuming. You know. Similar, the capes different, and I really dig the costume on this particular figure. And if I bring in the villain in Black Adam, he's right here. He's similar in size to him, but this figure is taller. There we go. That's what we have. And again, I'm going to show the face sculpts on these two figures here so we can get an idea. And also, if I bring in the Figures Toy Company one, and let me get him out of the packaging so we can kind of compare him as well. And I'll do that now. I just have to kind of untie him from the actual clamshell that he's in. Just give me a moment here while I get him untied, and we'll go from there. But seeing a lot of red and yellow or red and gold here. But Captain Marvel or Shazam has always been one of my favorite superheroes. I don't know if you guys dig him or not. Let me know in the comments down below if you are fans of Captain Marvel. But let me go ahead and bring in the Figures Toy Company one. And these two are similar in size. Again, right here. And this one is shorter, but the lightning bolt on this one here is super huge. Really big. And I guess the face sculpts on these are similar a little bit, but the costuming is different. The cape is all white. It doesn't have any detailing on it like this one here. This is more accurate here, but I mean the costume isn't bad. But just take a look at the boots and how tiny they are compared to these other figures, and even the boots on him. The boots on this figure, but these are my Shazam figures. That's all I have for today. My look at Mego Shazam action figures. Let me know what you think. Do you have any of these figures? Do you have the vintage one from the 70s? Either way, let me know in the comments. Do you have a favorite of these? Or is Shazam not a favorite of yours? Either way, let me know in the comments down below what you think. Thank you for watching, and please do me a favor and like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notification bells to receive notice of future upcoming videos. So let's add to the action with Action Joe Figs.